And I'm eager to jump to one of the statements you made that Facebook is hurtful in many ways.
Yes.
But let's try to keep it a bit short, I think, because I would like to move it to Svebert as well and speak a bit longer about that. But
and he did a segue to data, but we didn't pick up on that.
I tried.
I have it in my list.
I know.
No worries.
I felt it. I felt it.
No worries. Okay, so you said something about Facebook, and what was your? Can you just repeat? What are your thinking about Facebook and how that has impacted research or society?
No, but it's Facebook as a proxy for social media.
Okay, social media in general.
In general, and I think there are good things obviously, and there are bad things. And I think what we see in the news and what we experience might be the bad things. And this is the polarization between people and the filterbubblan, exactly. And the things that we don't understand. Yeah, I mean, we are in our bubbles and we don't understand the people outside the bubble, and that's the problem. And we're not really humble about it. And I think
can we just go down in this topic, because not everybody might have heard and understood what we mean with the filter bubble and how we all get our individual truth right now on social media. Could you just elaborate on, because this is my concern.
So like the canonical example is not an example, but see, you have algorithms prioritizing the things you see on Facebook. So or even a search engine. So if I search for something given my history, and you search for something, we will see different things.
Yes.
And the fact that we see different things are enforced or reinforced by us moving along in this virtual world and interacting with the people we are interacting with. And then we come to believe perhaps that
everybody else likes mountain biking as well.
Exactly. This is the world, and then you encounter someone who's outside this and believes that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Oh, this is weird. They must be stupid.
And by the way, the flat earthers, all they see are articles stating that the Earth is flat.
Exactly.
And that movement is expanding very rapidly recently.
And it wouldn't have worked. I mean, like the filter bubbler and flat earthers is some sort of correlation in this.
Okay, so of course, social media, if I were to make some kind of statement here, it was a big revolution and changed really the way we communicate and how we interact with people in so many ways. And I'm sure it's a lot of barnsjukdomar.
Yes.
What are you saying? Some initial problems with the way we implemented that. And the filter bubble is for sure one.
I think this is bigger. We didn't understand how huge this is and how we unleashed these algorithms. No one could have planned or expected this. There wasn't a planned filter bubble.
No, I don't think people were meaning bad things when they did it. They just
So okay, let's take let's say YouTube or something, and let's say that I search for dancing or a book or something, and I get my nice list of how to do proper dancing and how not to do it. And since I clicked a number of things in the past, I probably get similar things when I search for that. And if you like different type of dancing, you probably get different lists. The question then is, what is the solution? I mean, of course, still we can say that in general, having these type of recommender systems, which they have, is a big benefit in general. It's just that they have perhaps some bugs or problems with the way they're implemented. Would you think that the solution if we just crystallize it into, should we simply shut down recommender engine, or should we try to change how they work to avoid these kind of problems? What do you think the solution is?
I'm not sure about the solution, but I think the optimization, what they're optimizing for, is different. I mean, they're optimizing perhaps for engagement on the platform to be able to show ads, targeted ads, and then earn money. So maybe the optimization goal has to be something different for this to be beneficial for society instead. So that's
you
one
say
way.
Ads. Okay, so do you think ads in general is always hurtful?
No.
Do you think there is a way in the future that ads can actually be beneficial for users in some way?
Yes, I mean, I sometimes click ads because they look interesting and I find new stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think this is quite profound, right? What are these algorithms optimized for?
yes,
And ultimately, they are optimized for a couple of things. They're clearly optimized for maximizing the time you stay online, because the longer you stay online, the more ad revenue you can get from it and all that. So all of a sudden now, if you with that metric, it realizes that, well, I should give him two types of messages. Things that gets him really upset, he will click on that. What the fuck is this shit? Or things he really love. And then we are feeding the bubble. So here's an interesting one. Do we need to steer on these metrics we're optimizing on? Because I think that's part of the problem here. That it's this is AI for greed, right? That is then taking this good service too far, simply because it's almost addictive, right? How they drive our social behavior to click on it and click on it and click on it. So so I think this is quite one topic.
There was a couple of years ago, I think the last election in the US, not the previous one, that just was, but the one before, they had some of the bigger news outlets had this red feed, blue feed, side by side Facebook feed based on whether you were Republican or Democrat. And you could search for things like Hillary Clinton and you would see completely different things.
Interesting.
So it was really eye-opening. And I think we shouldn't look for solutions too quickly. We should try and stay in problem space and see, why is it that we are seeing, is this a problem? I claim it's a problem. Could we quantify that in some way and actually make sure, maybe it's not a problem, but maybe it's just because a few people think it is. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not the reason that we had Donald Trump as the president in the US, for instance.
For one, I agree that it is a problem, no question about that. And it's been a lot of issues with how the big social media companies are using recommender systems. But then the question is really, what can we do? One thing we cannot do is to say, let's turn off all the social medias.
No.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think that's an option either.
No. So the question then, I know that some companies like YouTube and I know Spotify and others are thinking about, can we in that way make recommendations more diversified?
Yes.
Can you simply say that if you, for example, if you take news articles, for example, and recommender systems for news, I know, for example, some companies, without saying names, are working with saying, okay, you search for news about Hillary Clinton. Then they're going to deliberately have KPIs, metrics that are optimized for,
like this.
That says these are positive and these are negative aspects of that specific term. Like sentiment analysis kind of measures for that, to try to say, let's always aim to have a diversified set of recommendations when you search for terms.
I think you're better in framing what I was trying to get to. It's the fundamental metric that might be the problem, and if we want to deal with these problems, we might need to deal with how we are defining the metric that we are, like you did now.
Yeah.
I think that's actually.
I think there are. I know people are working with it. I don't think we have the solution today. I know most social medias are not doing this right now. But I think there are ways to do it.
And even this could be regulated even to some point.
I also think it's a matter of non-technical solutions. Look at the kids today. They in school pretty early. They have courses on how to be, think for themselves and question news items. And if you look at different studies I've seen, the people, the age segment that are most prone to fall for these kind of things, they are the older people, like my parents and that generation. So I think this might be a passing thing. But
this is also a really good angle. I have my 12-year-old. He has his book reading in Svenska, and what is he reading? Critical thinking on internet.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
12 years old. I got blown away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
This was internet trolling and how to act. So he was so they were using books to educate them on internet behavior, and I think that's part of the solution.
Yes.
That we are more critically, how do we get away from this fake news, right? If we're all critical around it and we start looking at sources in a different way, and I think the generation like 12 years old. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. So there's a multifaceted angle to a problem like this.
Absolutely. That's a good ending on that one, I think.